This is Dr. Jack Barnathan with my good friend, Master Chef, Master of Fitness Design, Don Doward, and my pal. Don, good to see you today.
See you, Dr. Jack. How's it going?
Outstanding,
Yeah.
outstanding. You know, it's so cool, Don, and I live on Long Island, and a lot of people who live here forget it's an island. And when I was a kid, my dad and I loved to go fishing, and we would catch, we did okay, but uh lately, and they're giving credit to the Clean Water Acts that were passed in the 1970s when I was a kid. We're seeing in near on the internet. Yeah, it was on the internet this morning. They showed a bunch of dolphins, and I could see in the distance it was Jones Beach, where I walk with my mom. And I showed it to my mom. I'm like, Mom, look at this. There's a whole bunch of dolphins right in the
So go watch,
water.
see some dolphins. Yep.
It's just wild. There's been dolphins seen going up. I remember a few years ago, they saw these dolphins going up the Hudson River, which also was clean. They forced some of the corporations that in the 60s that
Yep.
dumped uh a lot
6 minute
of,
rough time.
yeah, and it's like, wow, all these things are starting to change. We're seeing whales in New York Harbor and off Long Island. Oh,
Nice.
yeah, it's fantastic. So, a lot of times, and a lot of times in our classes, we'd have students getting concerned and saying, "Oh, I worry about mercury in the fish, or we worry about those things." Which, yes, there are concerns, and yes, there are fish that, and it's not that people are dumping thermometers in the water, mercury like that. It's from acid rain. It's a chemical effect from pollution, again, which changes when we get rid of coal burning plants, which has been happening more and more here. In some other countries, not as much. But it's a fantastic time for, if we have the right source, getting probably the cleanest fish we've ever had, or at least in a long time,
Long
Don.
time, long time. Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think about that, Don?
I think it's amazing. That's why to see all the dolphins and seeing the whales coming in because of what so clean. It's plenty of food for them to eat. So it's good. And I wouldn't worry too much about mercury. I worry more about mercury from my protein drinks than I do about from fish. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
I I mentioned to you when we were chatting earlier that there's a park called Wantaw Park that my dad and I occasionally would go fishing at. We'd catch nothing except bites from gnats. The place was full of gnats. And every few months he said, let's give it a try. Nothing. And recently I'm walking with mom. There were no gnats, which was good.
It's good.
But yeah, they did something with that, I think. But there was a guy fishing off the pier, and just being friendly. I'm like, oh, how's it going? And he says, I only got two. And there were two bluefish this big,
Nice. Nice.
which was, yeah, beautiful. I
Amazing.
just stared. I'm like, those are blues. And he's like, yeah. And he said, I caught one last week. I'm like, that's amazing. So the water's getting cleaner, and we probably have the cleanest fish in a long time, but still knowing our sources is important, right,
Very
Don?
important. Yeah, definitely. You got to know where you've been. Find your fishmonger, talk to them, go in there, see the fish, smell the fish, get the fresh fish. Why buy shrimp from overseas when you get Gulf shrimp right here? It's cleaner water anyway.
Yeah, that's
That's bad.
I when some of the frozen fish, I know that, for a while Vietnam, and we talked about in our classes, and you hope that they're trying to improve it, but they uh
Really can't. They're growing way too close. They get all kinds of bacteria and disease in there, and they get all kinds of antibiotics. It's
they were
crazy.
they were taking land that previously was farmed for with human waste as fertilizer, and
Yep.
digging holes and trying to raise shrimp in there, and then trying to throw antibiotics. I know it sounds gross, but you go to the store and buy a bag of frozen shrimp, and if we're not looking at the source and
Right.
researching how clean they are, that's where we have difficulties.
Right. So if you take them into antibiotics, reading the shrimp with antibiotics, you're going to build up an immunity to the antibiotics.
Yeah.
They said that I thought that, but now they've already proven that.
the shrimps from the Gulf of Mexico, again, open water, which is how they're supposed to be
Yep.
caught, and even off Long Island, there's some fish, some shrimp fishermen. There's the two towns over, I could drive to where the boats come in, and
Nice.
used to do that with my dad a lot, and when I was a kid, and yeah, you can get water that now, yeah, the water is cleaner. It definitely is.
Definitely clean.
If it's good for the whales and the dolphins
Sure,
and
it's good for everything else in
yeah,
wildlife.
everything else, but still looking at our sources and
Definitely,
checking
definitely.
yeah, their cleanliness rules, that matters. That's awesome,
There
Don.
is.
Thank you, Don. This was
Thank
great.
you, Jack.
Everyone go enjoy some bluefish
There
today.
you go.